Thanks everyone for coming to our information session today about the Wiki Science competition. This is a partnership, a joint effort between Wikimedia Aotearoa New Zealand and Wikimedia Australia. So welcome. Thank you very much for coming along to find out more. I'm Belinda Spry from Wikimedia Australia, and we've got some of our great team here, a few from New Zealand and a few from Australia to talk through a bit more about the competition, a bit more about how it works, how to upload your photos, how to categorize things to make sure they end up in the competition. But I'd really like to open today by just saying, first of all, I'm on the lands of the Kaurna people, and we recognise and respect the traditional owners of country in Australia and in Aotearoa New Zealand. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and those emerging leaders of today. And we think about the beautiful country that we're on and the amazing images that hopefully people will be able to add through this competition and help grow and contribute to open knowledge. So thank you everyone for coming along.
Thanks very much. Kia ora koutou katoa, speaking here from Otatahi, Christchurch, which is Ngāi Tahu land, and evermore will be. I'm a Wikipedian at large and a Wikimedia consultant, and have done some training in Commons and Wikipedia and so forth in the past. I helped to organise a very small version of this competition a couple of years ago in New Zealand, but I'm really pleased that Australia and New Zealand are now collaborating to run it properly, and we're really looking forward to seeing all the amazing science photos that people can donate. My username is Giant Flightless Birds, because that's the group that I studied when I was in graduate school. And I'll pass it over to Nangara.
Hello, I'm Nangara. I'm in Perth, Western Australia on Noongar Budja. Like Mike, I've done a lot of workshops and programs and stuff. I've been contributing for over 20 years to the Wikimedia projects. Yeah, I think that's about all I can add for the moment. Mike, do you want to kick off or?
Sure. And can I also, Ngara's being very modest, but he's also an excellent photographer and has taken us on photo walks in the past to get outside and actually capture shots of Australia. So you've got a lovely collection of photos that I'm sure you'll be showing some of us. All right. So the Wiki Science competition has been run for quite some time now. It started in Estonia, and I met the Estonian who began it, and when I was over there, and he was very evangelical. He wants every country to be taking part in this. It's run as an international competition, but each country runs their own local version, and the winners of that country's categories get sent to the international judging group, who hand out actually quite substantial prizes. I believe it's like 5,600 euros or something being given out this year in prizes. And local countries are also welcome to give prizes or awards if they want, or you can just compete for the value of being the best in the country. I don't know. We might have organised something like that locally, mightn't we? Anyway, the Australia and New Zealand groups are collaborating this year. So you can upload photos until the 15th of December. And there are several different things you'll need to do to be able to do that. And that's what we're going to talk you through today. So one of the very first things you'll do is, because you'll be uploading the photos, not just sending them to someone else, you are the person who'll be uploading. That means you'll need to create an account, a Wikimedia account. So if you look up here on the screen, you'll see that I'm Giant Flightless Birds. So I picked a silly name as my account name, and you're welcome to do that as well. But when you go to Wikimedia Commons, which is just commons.wikimedia.org, and you might even want to open up a tab on your computer and go to this very spot, one of the first things you'll see on the top here is, instead of your username, you'll see a sign in or create an account option. So the reason why we're making you do this is that you're the copyright owner of the photographs, and that means you're legally the only person that can release them under an open license for Wikipedia to use. People can't really do this on your behalf. So by the act of creating an account and signing in, you're now equipped to upload those photos yourself. So that's the first step there is you'll create an account. This account, by the way, is, and try and remember your password because it's always a bit embarrassing. People come back 6 weeks later and have forgotten their password. Write it down. But you can use this account to log into Wikipedia as well, or Wikidata, or any of the Wikimedia projects. The same account and password will serve for all of them. They all interconnect. So that's the very first step you've got to do. Let's see. And when you've done that, you can submit your entry using this button to upload. Now, several things to notice. So you want to upload photographs. Before we walk you through, let's both of us maybe give you some suggestions on what makes good photographs. So if we scroll on down here, there's a bunch of rules and definitions, but the key thing is to look at the different categories here. So there are individual awards in each of those, but this straight away gives you a feeling for what we're looking for. And I guess one way to sum it up would be photographs that could be really useful for illustrating Wikipedia articles at some point. That would be like the ideal. A lot of people have photos of their own and they want to upload them, but it's really nice to focus and think, first of all, could this photo be useful for someone else? Could it be reused in an article or in a presentation or an educational resource? And then look down at the categories here. And you see the categories are here to try and marshal this a little bit. So we've got people in science, which, and if you imagine scientists in a lab or with their research group or in the field or even doing non-stereotypical sciencey things, as you know, it's sometimes really hard to find a picture of a scientist that isn't wearing a stereotypical white coat or isn't a white man. Now, there's a whole section for microscopy images. So, yeah, Michael, you mentioned that. That's and you can see there's some lovely examples of images of cells or petri dishes and so forth that you can use in this category. Those are often really useful for Wikipedia articles. There's an entire section for non-photographs. So this can be short video clips or audio that would be useful in an article. Computer-generated imagery, yes, but also think about diagrams, maps, graphics, flowcharts, process diagrams, timelines, any graphics that are created to help with a scientific project or that might be published in a scientific article. These can be super useful in Wikipedia articles too, just demonstrating, let's say, the life cycle of an organism in a really nice illustration that could be reused. That could go into this category. There's a section for wildlife and nature, which includes macro photography. Often a lot of entries in this category here because a lot of people like taking wildlife and nature photos. So it will be hard for your photo to stand out from the crowd here unless it's a technically really excellent one. Ngara, what would you say would class as an excellent photo in this category?
In this category, wildlife and nature, you're looking to capture the details. So if you're photographing a bird in flight that only takes up a third of the image space would be bare minimum. You'd really want to say capture right up against the key identifiers. So if it's like the Australian ringneck parrot, you'd want to show just the head and the yellow ring around the neck itself, because that's the identifying feature that you need to be able to see. If you were talking something as small as, say, a peacock spider, which are about 2, maybe 3 mil in size, there's different features for the species, and one of the key identifiers is on the back of the spider, and it has either 1 or 2 dots or a combination of other dots. So that identifies the species. So what you want to do is you want to be able to show those physical features that best identify whatever species it is. And with it, you want to actually identify what species you're talking about. So it's if we go back to say an orchid, you don't want to just say it's a Calodenia species. You'd like to say it's a Calodenia flava or whatever else it could be.
Yeah, you've raised a really good point here, is that sometimes really good metadata about the photograph is one of the things that makes it stand out. So not just the people depicted and the date and the place, but some really good context about what exactly they're doing, what was the occasion here, who are all these folks and what are they studying, and the same with the information about any plant or animal that you're showing there. Really having an excellent description, an exact location, and noting even the distinguishing features that you've identified in the photograph in the caption would be really helpful. That's what makes a good photo into a great one.
I
Do you want,
do caution on one thing there with exact locations. If it's an endangered or threatened species, please don't identify it down to GPS data, because unfortunately there are a lot of people out there that like to go back, and we can cause as much harm by going in to take a photo as we can by trying to collect seeds or other things in the area.
You're right. When we get to the upload process, we'll show you where that location data can sometimes be tagged and how to take it out. That's a really good point. And then just to finish the categories here, astronomy imagery, there's lots of excellent photos of stars and aurora and so forth. But if you're looking at actual telescope photography or observatory photos, there's some amazing stuff that can be done. And have a look at some of the past winners for some good examples of astronomical photography. It doesn't have to be stars as well. It can also be actual astronomers or telescopes or installations. And then there's the image sets ones, which people don't think about very much. But think about something like, for example, showing someone how to plate out bacteria on a petri dish. If we had a series of photographs that demonstrated how to prepare the dish, how to take a swab, how to plate it out, how to incubate it, in a connected series of photographs, all with really nice, good colors, nice and sharp, well lit, that can actually be used as an image gallery on a Wikipedia article. So if you think about a process or a series of linked images, and it could be something like even following the life cycle or the growth of a particular insect species from egg right through to adult. Those sorts of image sets are also things that don't get uploaded as much, but are very valuable when they do. And then everything else gets shoved in the general category, every other kind of science photography. But you can see from the categories there that there are some particular things that people really would like to see uploaded. And if you have things that fall into those categories, do seriously consider chasing them down. Okay, so that's the landing page here. As we've said, there's you can upload as many files as you like, but you can only get one prize for these things. The next highest scoring one will get the second prize. So we try and spread it around a little bit.
And that goes to Michael's question of can he enter photos he's already uploaded? Unfortunately not. The competition is limited from photos uploaded between the 1st of November and the 15th of December this year.
Yeah, the point of the competition is to try and encourage people who have never even considered uploading a photo before to give it a go. And while it's wonderful that there are lots of people who are very keen and have already uploaded lots and done lots of contributions, we want to try and put everyone on an even keel. So we want to make it so it doesn't penalize the newbies who maybe this is the very first time they've ever donated a photo. So we want to keep that window of new uploads just for that month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, so things just to note here that from the rules here, when you upload an image, you are releasing it under an open license. Okay, so be aware that you are making the image available for use in Wikipedia or anywhere else. That means it can be used by anyone for any purpose, including potentially even a commercial purpose, as long as you are always attributed as the photographer. So you have to bear that in mind. If you have a photograph that you think is of actually commercial value that you are planning to sell or make a lovely calendar out of or something, then and if your livelihood is a photographer, then you might not want to actually donate photographs that you were going to be using to pay the rent with. But if you're not a professional photographer who expects to earn money from the photos, and you're quite happy to see them used in places like the media or for field guides or educational material or something like that, where you're not going to actually see income from that, then by all means, then upload and donate your photos. Just want to make it clear that, some professional photographers get a bit put out when they see this because they didn't realize that the photos were going to be then made available for everyone to use for any purpose. Um, and one of the key rules here is that you need to be uploading it using a registered Wikimedia account, and it must be taken, authored by, or created by the submitter of the image. So you can't upload someone else's photo on their behalf. And it's possible if you work for a scientific institution and you have some photos from work that you'd like to upload, you have to be like an authorized representative of the institution. I would check with your comms or publicity person. Just make sure that they are completely happy with those photos being released under an open license for anyone to use for any purpose. So we've had some problems in the past where people working for an institution have just grabbed a bunch of the commonly used photographs and donated them and not checked to see whether or even who the photographer was. So the best thing with copyright is they should be your photos that you actually took yourself with your own camera. That's the most unproblematic way of doing it. As soon as you start trying to upload photographs taken by someone else or some other organization, we run into all sorts of issues because you have to specify that you're the copyright owner when you release them. Okay, do we want to do a demo? Ngaro, how about you share your screen and walk us through the process that you as a competition entrant would follow?
Okay, well, what I would do is after editing my photos, I end up with something like this. So a whole category of images. As you can see, this one, the dominant one here is this yellow orchid, and that's a Calodenia flava. It's also known as a cowslip. So what I would do is I would decide which of these images meet what we need for a file. So I'd look at like this image here, which I've just highlighted, shows the plant face on. It gives you all of your reproductive parts of it and the colouring. It's slightly just losing its age because of the tips on the plant. Actually, it's so what I would do is I would now is this okay? I need to swap around. I use multiple screens, so
so share a monitor rather than an application will probably do it.
Yeah. Hang on. So I'll share that. Okay.
There we go.
That's come up. Okay. And you'll see this big red button.
Yep.
Nice and easy to identify. It says upload a file here. When you click on that, it will go to competition page and it'll show you what people have uploaded so far. And you click on the blue button that says upload. This is a really straightforward process. It'll take a second to come up. And it comes up.
Notice the proviso there, freely licensed or public domain content. Yep.
Yeah. And I'll just do the easy drag and drop. And it'll now start uploading the file. I've picked a small file. I wouldn't normally you would say when you upload your biggest highest resolution possible. But for the sake of speed, I've uploaded a smaller resolution, which I'll take out of the competition at the end of the.
Yeah. And Commons can handle files of 100 megabytes easily, so don't worry about overloading it. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And oops, didn't want it to do that. And you can then click on add more files. So you can do more than one at a time. And it's going to go looking for more files in your on your hard drive, or you can use, as I did, the drag and drop. And then you click on continue. And sorry if I'm going a bit too fast.
No, this is good.
You get first question is, this is entirely created by me. So it's a photograph I took, which is critical because it asks you, is there other people's work in it? So, is it just your photo? Is it just your diagram? Or did other people contribute to it, which we need to know? And
Also, can I interrupt?
yep.
That can also include a photo that has a painting or a copyrighted artwork in the background, or that uses a slide or a diagram that someone else made. That can cause problems when you're uploading because that's someone else's copyright that also needs to get released.
Yep, like when you're looking at my picture at the moment on Zoom, my background's another photograph by me. Technically, I would have to also explain where that photo is if you were taking a screen capture, but that's all right. I know it's already been uploaded to Commons anyway. You then go to choose your license, and you can have multiple choices. We recommend the one in the middle, which is Creative Commons, which is just the people that write the legal framework and wording of it. Attribution, which means that anyone reuses your image, they've got to at least say where they got it from or who created the photo. And then it's got SA next to it, which is share alike. That means that it's supposed to be used in other free works.
Or if someone makes something out of that photo, they have to keep it under that same sort of open license for everyone to reuse.
Yeah. And then, of course, 4.0 is just the current version of that license, which gets updated every couple of years. Then you'll click on next. Now, what it's done here is it's gone to the next page. This is where you start filling in all your descriptions and stuff. As you can see, the title of the image is rather meaningless. It has a couple of features on it that I use. One is an initial, so GN for Nangara. It's got the day, and then it's got the image and the sequence of photos I took that day, and an approximate location. So Kwinana's a suburb to the south of Perth. But what we would normally suggest you do is I love my laptop sometimes. If I lean in the wrong spot, so it'll see how it's told me this title has been used before. So you've got to make it unique. And then by adding my username on the end, it's made it a unique file name. That just helps keep them all separate because everything's got to have its own file name. So this one, again, that tells you genus and species. That's about all you really need as a basic caption. A little bit further down, the difference is the caption is collected by the system, and that's what it helps with people reusing. It just tells them what it is. But So you then add, hey, look, I can't type and talk. So what we've done is I've added a description. It just shortened it scientifically. C flava, in late flower, note the loss of colour on the end of the petals, which are these 2 points here have lost. They've gone white from the yellow they should be. The date the photo was taken. Now, some cameras embed it, some don't. In this case, this file doesn't have the date embedded, so I've selected the date which I took the photo. Again, next question is, it asks for what is the main subject of the photo. Now, this is, do you want to explain this one, Mike?
Yeah, sure. So Wikidata is a database that has all sorts of different objects and items locked away in it. And what you can use it to do is to pick an object that's depicted in the photo from a sort of standardized list. Way to do it is maybe just to start typing and see what pops up. In this case, all the species in the world, more or less, are in Wikidata, so that's easy to find. But you might have something like a University of Coimbra, for example. Try typing that, or the photograph might depict the Andromeda Nebula, or it might depict, radio telescope. So trying to find something that you can say this is what the photo depicts, and you can pick more than one thing and choose one of them as the dominant thing. The reason we do this is that increasingly searching through photographs in Wikimedia Commons is becoming pretty hard with the category system, and it's hoped that by using these kinds of tags, we'll be able to have much more efficient searching in the future. So try and pick something useful that can actually would help with someone trying to do a search one day.
So it's also a list some subspecies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we also have categories that do the same function, but they put all the same styles together, and then it's say botanical illustrations or just the plant. So we'll select that one. We might go. So it offers some options for Kwinana, which is as a general suburb, that's fine. To put that in, you may want to go to a little bit. Okay, I will. You might be a person connected to it. So, a person who identified the species. I was trying to think of a place that's some of your locations, like some of the reserves and stuff, also have categories which show a collection of what's in there. Generally, that's as detailed as you want to get. Now, you'll see the next one where it says location. If the metadata built into the photo has the location, it will fill these in. You can use the arrow to pinpoint and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you didn't want the location to be recorded, you can just delete them if they fill in automatically, like you might with maybe with an endangered species.
Yep. And then you pick the category of the Wiki Science competition that you want it to go into. So in this case, it'd be wildlife and nature. And then you just click on publish files. And in a few seconds, that is now available on Commons.
Perfect. Okay, any questions from people immediately about that demo? Because I'll run through one as well that shows with a different sort of photo. All good?
Okay, I'll stop sharing and give the screen over to
Okay.
Mike.
Right. So that's awesome. Yeah. So I'll try one of my own. Here we go. Right. Everyone see that okay? So what I'm going to do, oops, is it going to keep it? Yes, it is. All right. So if I go through this and I'm logged in as Giant Flightless Birds, I'm going to upload a photograph I took at the University of Coimbra a couple of weeks ago in Portugal. So I can just drag and drop it in here. So that's a photograph of the Coimbra collection of algae, which is a live algae culture collection in the heart of the university, a little room that's very well lit, filled with thousands of test tubes of live algae that they keep going there. All right, so let's go continue. It was created by me. Anyone's free to use it. Entirely created by me. There's no other copyrighted signs or artworks or posters or anything in the room that could say belong to someone else. I'm going to switch to a different license, Creative Commons Attribution, because I personally like a slightly more open one that lets people reuse it without the requirement that they make open license works out of
Relicensed,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So that all it means is if people want to use this photo, they just need to credit my name. Not a bad idea to put my actual name here instead of Giant Flightless Birds. I'll try and remember to do that. Okay, so you see we've got this terrible title here. This can't work, so we'll just call it the Coimbra collection of algae. And I, like Ngangara, I just put my initials here like that just to make it different. The title is not meant to be super descriptive. It's just to distinguish this photo from all the other millions of photos in Commons. So they have a different name. Okay, so the caption here, which is really just intended as like a basic one-line description to go underneath the photo if it needs it. It's not intended to give lots of detail. So that's why you don't have to do any more than this. But like, remember how I was saying that really beautifully documented photos get extra consideration? We're going to put more metadata in here. So I'll just put in, so there we go.
Can you translate it there? I should have pointed that out. Just above
Yeah,
the box, it says English.
yeah.
That's the language you've written it in.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can figure out how
Oh, yours
to.
isn't set up.
No, not automatically, but I can do it. Portuguese. There we go. And we'll say, because that actually happens to be the, there we go. It's an algoteca, which is like a biblioteca or a library, but of algae. Okay, the dates are automatically filled in. Now, I could try, whoops, I can't type and talk at the same time. As soon as I start typing in collection, oh, there it goes. It pops up in Wikidata. Yep, that's the name there. That would be the only thing that I would probably put in there. And I did a wee search in Wikimedia Commons for see if this existed. And no, there does not seem to be any other photos of it. But there is a category for the University of Coimbra. So I thought, okay, well, that'll do until such time as people make. And you notice there's a bunch of different subcategories here, but none of them are for the algal collection. So I'll just go with the, University of Coimbra parent category. It's good to put some sort of category in there. If you don't put any category in there, it's going to be really hard for people to find and use your photo for anything. So try and find something useful there, but make it as specific as possible. So if I just put a category like algae or plants or something, that's going to get shoved with the other 10,000 uncategorized general plant photos. So again, not super useful. So we're trying to find a fairly specific category here if we can. Latitude and longitude is fine. What's my category? It doesn't fit under anything else other than general category. So let's call it that. And then publish. Now when I've done this, up pops the photo. It's a really good idea just to click through and see it in its context. This is what it looks like now in Wikimedia Commons. And you'll notice that it's available for download now under multiple different sizes. Doesn't matter how big a photo you upload, people can pick the resolution they want to download. You've got a couple of different captions there. You can go back and go edit or edit source and add more information to the description if you want. I'm tagged as my name, that's lovely. And there's my license and file history, and it's noted as part of the Wiki Science competition. Okay, even has information for the phone, from the phone that I took it on. But you'll notice under the categories here, as well as the University of Coimbra that I put in, it automatically gets tagged with the images from Wiki Science Competition 2025 and has a hidden category uploaded via this campaign page as well, so that we, the competition organizers, can actually find these photos again and sort through them and try and award prizes. Otherwise they'd disappear without trace. So this potentially is a photo that I would now use, and I'll just see as a little bonus. I'm going to use it straight away because I'm going to go to the Wikidata item for the Coimbra collection of algae, and I'm going to add an image and put that file name, go save, and that photo is now attached to the Wikidata item for the Coimbra collection of algae, Algoteca de Coimbra, which means that if anyone's doing a Google search for it, this is one of the things that will pop up almost straight away. And if I wanted to go into the University of Coimbra's Wikipedia article in English, I could add it to that as well and have a nice caption saying this is the Coimbra collection of algae. So you see that it's nice to pick a photo that can be certainly immediately used by someone, and it can be super helpful almost straight away. So one of the goals of the science competition is that when we see these photos, we can start picking through and thinking, that could illustrate this, that could illustrate that.
Okay,
Okay.
while you were in Wikidata, Mike,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, go have a look at Caladenia flava
Ah,
there.
yes, I will.
Yes,
Okay.
because there's a whole, when you start populating these things,
Have I got that right?
looks
How do you
right to
spell it?
me. Yep.
I think I've spelled it wrong.
Denia.
D-E-N-I. Denia.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wikidata is not forgiving about spelling. There we go.
Okay,
And
so
that's one of your photos.
yeah, probably.
It is.
Um,
It's got your name on it.
oh well, then it must be one of my photos.
Yeah.
See, that's how quick we can identify
Yeah.
stuff. But as you go down, if you keep scrolling down the page, you'll see all the identifiers. Those list into all of those databases.
Mm, mm. And it lists all of the different Wikipedia articles in all these different languages as well that use that. Let's just check the English Wikipedia article, if that's one of yours or not, but you can see, yeah, so this is where a nice photo, and actually for New Zealand listeners, it's really hard to find a nice image for most of our native animals and plants. Only the common ones have got good photos. There's lots of species of native plants where we don't have a decent photo of their flower, for example, or of a leaf up close, that could be straight away used in a Wikipedia article. So yeah, so that's good. That's great. It's a good example of how these images can be reused. All right. So we've chatted lots, but I'm interested to hear people talk about what they want to do. So first, Alison had a question. So image places outside of Australia and New Zealand. Yes, you can take photos of anywhere. The competition is for people within Australia and New Zealand, But we're not restricting it to photos just of Australia and New Zealand subjects. You just happen to be living here. So, so yes, if you've got international photos, and of course, obviously taking photos of the stars, anyone should be able to upload those. So that's all good.
If I share this screen, you should be seeing all the different the Wiki Science competitions
Yep.
specifically for 2025. I have got that right, have I, Mike?
Yes, you have. Yeah.
Yes, because I can't see what I'm sharing. Yeah. So you'll see Argentina, Chile,
Yeah.
US, Nigeria, South Africa,
Mm.
Australia, and New Zealand are combined.
I think it's a brilliant touch to make us not competing with each other for a change. Although that might have gotten more uploads.
Yeah. Oh, it makes it harder for us to judge, but that's
Mm.
fine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I'll just.
Yeah, nice. And Sophie's put a link back to some of the winners in past years if you want to get some inspiration. Just pick through some of those and see what people have been uploading. But I mean, it's as much a something that's creative and useful and thoughtful as well as something that's technically perfect. I mean, the photo can be brilliantly sharp and beautifully lit, but if it's the same as 100 other examples of the same subject, it's just, you might want to upload a beautiful photo of a tui, for example, a lovely bird. But there are lots of lovely photos of tui already in Commons, and yours is probably not better than all of those. So it's not as useful as a photograph of, say, a brown creeper up close, a bird that hardly anyone ever photographs, that we probably don't even have a decent photo on its Wikipedia article. So think strategically like that as well. People have any ideas about sorts of photographs they'd like to take or share?
Um,
Claire, did you have something?
yeah, I'd like to do more photos of flowering stages and things like that.
Because you could do an image set then, showing a series of
Yeah,
flowers at different points, and yeah, that would stand
and
out.
also,
Mm,
yeah, more detailed photos of leaves and
mm, mm.
things. Yeah, and I mean, I know there's a database of pollen at Canberra, but people don't often look at pollen or have the capacity to look at pollen. And yeah,
But that would be an amazing project if we could get microphotography of Australian plant species, those photographs on those Wikipedia articles alongside the
yeah,
flower and fruit.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be a fantastic project to go through and systematically do that. So,
yeah.
if you do take pollen photography, or do you know folks who do?
Uh, no, no,
Mm,
my photography is pretty average.
mm. Anyway, but if you
I
happen to know
try.
someone doing microphotography of pollen, you've got some, you can nudge them towards this competition.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Lauren, any thoughts on the sort of stuff you'd like to try uploading?
No, although I'm inspired a bit now. Might have to think about where the need is and
Hmm.
see how I can respond to that.
From my point of view, working with scientists, it's really hard to find photographs of scientists like just doing their work,
Mm,
looking like normal people doing science. Because what happens is when a photographer comes around the lab, everyone puts on their lab coats and all stands
yeah.
up and looks official. And they stand in a nice row like they're about to be executed by a firing squad. So that's terrible. That's in most working scientists that I come across, that's the best we've got. So if you knew any scientists actually doing interesting work and you could tag along and do
Mm,
a photo shoot with them, you'd get some much more creative and exciting shots than that, I'm sure.
yes.
Yeah,
I guess the consideration with that is that if it's then going to be in the commons, you'd need
Yeah,
everyone involved to be all
yeah.
good with that.
I
General
think I would say
permissions,
like
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And anyone they need to be really clear about what the photos are being used for, and ideally
Mm.
get an email, something in writing from them saying they're very happy for these. And of course, show them the photos before you
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
uploaded them.
uh, I have a example that if I'm trying to highlight an issue, and if I take a picture of dewatering being done near a hydrologically sensitive wetland, which is not a scientist at work, but
Mm.
anti-science at work.
We
There's no
are
category for that.
we are lucky in that we do have freedom of panorama. So if you're out in a public place, generally don't photograph a person's face. But if you've got someone taking samples, whether they're a scientist or not, they're
I've got
participating in the science activity. As long as you don't show their face, you can take a photo and upload it. There is a process
okay.
for sharing those permissions.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
called VRT
yeah. Can
messages, and we'll explain it as you
Yeah,
need it because it
it
gets
can
complicated.
become a bit tricky if you need to get someone out. But really, VRT is only for people who are the copyright owners getting
No,
releases for their
it can
photos.
carry the other permissions.
Oh, can it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
I've
can be
used
a
it
real
for
faff to work with though, unfortunately, because it can take
yes,
ages for it to be cleared. So it's probably better to get something in writing or at least work with the people concerned,
yeah.
or then stick to stuff that's
Well, you
only.
get it in writing and then you send it through to permissions, but we can
Yeah.
walk you
Yep.
through that if you need to.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. That was really interesting.
Good. All right, guys. So you can get in touch with us via your Australia or New Zealand person that you signed up through the Humanitics
Yeah.
for. If they can put you in touch with a Wikimedian if you need some help. We'll try, or you have a thorny question to sort out. And otherwise, look forward to you uploading some photos and give it a go. And hopefully this you'll get the bug and will want to start doing more and more of this kind of public service volunteer work in the future. It's really valuable to have community folks out there contributing to the Wikimedia projects like this.